I heard through the grapevine that you've had some interesting experiences with some of the guys you picked up.
Yeah, I've survived like 4 serial killers every house.
You survived 4 serial killers.
Yeah, well, some people, first off, understand this. They're not far and few between. Serial killers are not far and few between. There are thousands of them, right here, right now in Los Angeles. This homicide detective comes driving down the street and he pulls up and he says, you know, you need to be really careful. There's a man out here killing women. I go, really? Does he use a hammer? And his face turned gray. And he said, what do you know about a man attacking women with a hammer? And I turned around and took this little hat off my head and I said, because he hit me with it. And he says, can you identify him? I go, I've got his fingerprints. Would you like the hammer? He had wrapped it with gauze, and in the struggle and all the wetness, they kind of slid off, and so his fingerprints were really. So I gave him that, and the man put me in the car and took me to the hospital and dropped me off. And the doctor said that I was really, really lucky. The only reason I survived that concussion was the hole in my head released the pressure.
Yeah, the pressure from the injury would have.
Right. Yeah. I was like, whew, good thing for that.
Did they ever catch the guy?
Oh yeah. They had his fingerprints and he had a driver's license. That's what they got. But I never had to testify to any of them because, like with him, there was so much. He gave up the location of like 14 more bodies so that they knew of 12, to take the death penalty off the table. So they gave him like 6,000 years plus 400 million or something like that. So he'll never get out there. No. I survived. And the thing is, I just had to keep going on. You know, people go, you didn't just, well, okay, I had a hole in my head. Now what do I do? Just lay down and, I mean, no, I have to just keep going. I have to persevere. Somehow I have to keep going forward. And that's what I did.
And you've had more than one?
Yes.
Running with serial killers.
Right. I had another one that was in Chinatown, a Salvadorian man. Picked me up.
A Salvadorian?
Picked me up, and he was the manager of an apartment building on Ord Street in Chinatown. And he goes, you can scream all you want. I killed them all here. Nobody will help you. And my brain went, spurk.
He said what?
He said, you can scream all you want. I killed them all here. Nobody's going to help you. And my brain went, and I just started fighting, right? And I was on the, he tackled me. Now this is a kind of a squatty, stocky kind of a guy, really strong. Now he's got me on my back, okay? And between a dresser and a bed, and I'm like a snow angel. I'm doing this. Anything I can get my hands on, I'm hitting him with it. And finally I got my hands, and he's got his thumb behind my larynx. That's behind my larynx, he's choking me out. And so I finally get a hold of the bottle and I hit him and I went, and kind of from here to here, his face flapped forward on me, and blood is just pouring on me. And we're fighting. He's still fighting. And his face is, I don't know how he didn't have vertigo or something, but I guess the eyes didn't get kind of just the skin flapped forward, and kind of like a scalping, but more like a facing. And we're fighting, and finally he says, now I'm fighting for 24 minutes, because I'm looking at this digital clock on the wall, and it's like 24 minutes of fighting, like, it's like professional boxers don't even do that. I was using every molecule in my being to fucking just survive this. And finally he tells me to get out. Well, that sounded really good to me. You know? So I get up and I run to the door, and I open the door, and I turn and I look, and he's coming at me with a machete. Not one of those old Cuban, gonna whack a piece of plantain off the, no, this was a techno green with this sharp blade, I can see just glistening with sharpness. And so I run out, open the door, run out. Now, there's 2 hallways, which way? I take that one, okay? Down the stairs, out the front door. I'm now in Chinatown again. For 10 o'clock in the morning, or whatever it is, 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, I had a basketball throwback jersey dress on that was very thick, and it was ripped. I don't know how he ripped this, but it was ripped. And I go out there, and I'm covered now, again, head to toe in blood. I go, help. And no, busy. I'm too busy. You know? So I run to the corner to a payphone. I pick up the phone and I'm like, I dial 911, and they answer. I'm like, and I can't talk because my brain's in overload. And every time somebody came around the corner, I was like, because I don't know who's on what team, you know. And so finally They traced the phone to that phone, and they sent the paramedics over, and they pulled them in that boxy paramedic truck. And I ran over, opened the back door, jumped in, shut the door, put my back against the wall. And at first, this older black police officer showed up, and he wasn't very amused that he had to come deal with this. And he said, can you identify him? And I spit out the room number, and he went up there, and when he came back, he was a completely different individual towards me. He was like, sweetie, it's going to be all right. Don't you worry about a thing. And he said, they took pictures of that, and he said, you won't have to worry about anything. The pictures alone will. And you know what's really amazing is you'll never hear about it on the news. Especially since it was in the time
I've heard so many stories from women.
It was the beginning of regentrification, and they were not going to tell it.